Every day, millions of Americans are constantly bombarded with advertisements, telling us what to buy, who to buy it from, and how often, and how much we should buy. These techniques of enticement have been honed to perfection. Some are so clever and repeated so often, all you have to hear is a catchphrase, a few notes, or see a particular spokesperson, and you automatically know what product they are selling. Here are some famous ones. Wheaties will always be the breakfast of champions. Tony the Tiger will always tell you you're great if you eat his Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. A classic picture moment is a Kodak moment. At JCPenney's, it's all inside, and when you're at Olive Garden, you're family. America's advertising industry, also known as Madison Avenue, has had decades to perfect their skills and techniques in convincing the American consumer that we need the product they are selling. My high school English teacher spent several days teaching his students how to recognize these techniques. And my purpose today is to share with you the techniques of testimony, snob appeal, and hidden fears, so that you too can become a more informed and educated consumer. Testimony is probably one of the most common ways that advertisers convince us to buy their products. Human beings have a tendency to believe what a well-known or respected person says. Therefore, advertisers play into this by having famous actors, actresses, professional athletes, and other well-known individuals promote their products. For example, Kelly Ripa from the morning show Regis and Kelly raves to television viewers that Pantene Pro V made her hair brilliantly shine. Florence Henderson, who once gave advice as Mrs. Brady on the Brady Bunch, now endorses Polygrip for dentures. And of course, who could forget Britney Spears' endorsement of Pepsi? Now in reality, Kelly Ripa probably doesn't even use Pantene Pro V, and Britney Spears may not even like Pepsi. However, because they tell us these things, we automatically want to go out and try the products ourselves. The warning? Be aware that when a celebrity endorses a product, it doesn't mean that they like it, or that they even use it, only that they are being paid to tell us so. Make sure you base your opinions and your decisions on your own ideas, rather than taking the advice of a celebrity. The next area that Madison Avenue has perfected is known as snob appeal. On every level of society, there is the desire and drive to prove that you are better than someone else. The root of this is pride, and that is what advertisers are banking on. They know that if they can make their product make a consumer feel better than someone else, it will sell. Clothes are a great example of this. Very rarely will you hear teenagers bragging that they buy their clothes at Walmart. Instead, it is the more expensive clothing brands that are said with bragging connotation. Now, the clothes at Walmart might be just as good of quality. However, because they are more reasonable, they're no longer desirable. Be aware that advertisers want you to give into that belief. So do some comparison shopping. The flashiest and most expensive item probably isn't your best buy. The final technique that advertisers have mastered is known as hidden fears. In the last few years, the advertisements for home security systems, car safety systems, prescription drugs, and other danger prevention methods has exploded. Americans are afraid. Therefore, advertisers use this to their advantage. They know that if their product can make a consumer feel safe and secure, it will sell. Advertisers also like to exploit our hidden fears, such as bad breath, gaining weight, and perspiration. An example of this is the commercial for Sure deodorant, which states, "Raise your hand if you're sure." The advice for this is to be logical. Don't let your fears overpower your good judgment. While deodorant will be useful for perspiration, it will prove to be inadequate without a daily shower and change of clothes. Therefore, take it for what it's worth, one piece of the solution. In conclusion, the next time you hear an advertisement, remember the techniques of testimony, snob appeal, and hidden fears. The reason advertisers use these is because they work. In the end, Burger King's phrase, "Have it your way," can become your key phrase as you navigate Madison Avenue.